So lads, today we're going to be doing the Newcastle United versus Liverpool player ratings, and this is the final video of the 2019-20 season. I am wearing the new kit, but it's the final one of this season, and Steve Bruce might actually think it'll be a positive season finishing 13th, but for Newcastle United fans it hasn't really been a great season, to be honest. It's been a glimmer of hope and some great moments that we will always remember, but there's been some shocking moments and some shocking performances and stuff like that. We're Newcastle United, we should not be finishing 13th in the Premier League. But today lads, we will go through the player ratings between Newcastle United and Liverpool. The game ended 3-1. If you didn't watch the reaction already, I button at the top, link in the description and on the end screen. So if this is the first video you watched, it'll be in the end screen, you can just go and watch the reaction then. But we will do the player ratings now, starting off with Martin Dubravka. Martin Dubravka, yes, he conceded 3 goals today, but you had to make a crucial save from Minamino in around the 28th minute. It was a fantastic save. For Van Dijk's goal, my dad said if he thought he was just going to get to it, and it was so unlucky for that goal. And I feel like if we went into the half-time 1-0 up, it would have been very hard for Liverpool to come back in. Yeah, they would have brought on the likes of Sadio Mane, Firmino and Salah, and probably made it back 2-1 maybe, but I feel like if we went into the half-time 1-0, it would have been a lot more positive and we could have got out of the game with something. But Dubravka had to make a couple of saves. He couldn't really do anything with the goals. 7 out of 10. Next up we will do is the right wing back Lazaro. He started right wing back today. Probably his last game for the club. I can't see him signing. I can't see Newcastle United pushing on 20 million for a player that hasn't really played, and we picked up Maximin for 16. When you look at it like that, I can't see us paying that much money for him. So Lazaro's performance today, it was more about him staying back and defending rather than trying to get up the field and trying to score goals for the club. That's what it was today, and he wasn't bad. He didn't really put a foot wrong, to be honest. I can't really remember a time where he put a foot wrong. Couple of decent tackles. Like Dubravka, I'm going to give a 7. We'll normally do the centre-backs. We'll move on to the left wing back now. We'll do Matt Ritchie, then we'll do the 3 centre-halves. Matt Ritchie, he was getting up the field, unlike Lazaro. He was trying to get up, but his defensive work wasn't as good as Lazaro's. To be fair, it was one of his better games for the club, one of the better players today, and he wasn't bad. He really wasn't. I'm going to give Matt Ritchie a 7 out of 10. Trust lads, everyone's not going to get a 7. Trust us, but 7 out of 10 for Matt Ritchie. Centre backs now. We'll start off with we'll actually do a centre back. The only centre back, even though we had 3 playing, Fernandez. Fernandez today, for the second goal, he could have flicked it on. He could have committed a little bit, but I mean, there was nothing to play for. Did he really have to commit? Not really, but if he did, I don't think, Origi's goal probably wouldn't have went in, and if it did deflect, it could have made Dubravka had a bit more of a chance of saving it. But overall, I feel like his defensive work was great. He had Salah was running down the wing and he put a really good slide tackle in. I remember that. It was a decent performance from Fernandez. 7 out of 10. Oh, but lads, everyone's not getting a 7. Trust us. Federico Fernandez, 7 out of 10. We'll do Danny Rose. Danny Rose playing centre back today. He's normally a left back, and you can see why he's not a centre back. It's pretty obvious, but he wasn't great today. Danny Rose, for the first goal, it was disappointing. Just putting your foot out, like they're just flinging it. Just get stuck in. Just get stuck in, and it'll probably be his last game for the club. Jetro Willems for me over Danny Rose, and if we do sign Danny Rose, I mean, it won't be a terrible signing, but we've got to get Jetro Willems. It's like Rondon. He's like the most loan player we've got to sign. Out of all the loan players we've had this season, Jetro Willems is the best one we've had so far this season, and we've got to sign him, in my opinion. So Danny Rose today, he wasn't great in my opinion. I'm going to give him a 5. Javier Manquillo next, and he wasn't great today. Yeah, there was a couple of decent tackles and whatnot, but for me, he wasn't great. Just an easy one. Javier Manquillo, straight down the middle, 5 out of 10. We'll do the centre midfielders now. We'll do Jonjo Shelvey, and Jonjo Shelvey today, he was good. For that goal, for the Newcastle United goal, to have the knowledge of just pinging it, the knowledge just to get the ball down and kick it off straight away, rather than letting everyone get in a position, put a ball in the box where nothing's going to happen. 24 seconds that was. Great work from him. literally ball over the top. Gayle really couldn't have missed. Really good goal for Newcastle United, and a good assist for Jonjo Shelvey. Jonjo Shelvey, 7 out of 10. Next up, it is Bentaleb, who went off injured in the second half. And for me, yet again, that will probably be his last game for the club. I can't see Newcastle United paying 80 grand a week for him. No chance. For me, you cannot sign him for 80 grand a week when we've got some players who have been fantastic, who's on a lot less money. Fernandez will not be on 80 grand a week. Jonjo Shelvey will not be on 80 grand a week. Nabil Bentaleb, for me, we should not sign him. But his performance today, he wasn't terrible when he came off. But he was on until it was 1-1. So, I mean, it's a weird one for Nabil Bentaleb and his future at Newcastle United. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Now moving on to the attacking players, we'll start off with Almiron, who was in a centre mid role. He was okay today. Miggy, he just looks so calm on the ball, and when he gets the ball, he just looks, he knows what he's doing. It's not often where you'll lose the ball, and he didn't really lose it today. Almiron, oh, here we go again. Almiron, a 7 out of 10. Saint-Maximin, who went off at half time, and you can just see when he went off, we had no attacking threat throughout the full game. It wasn't great from you could tell he was tired. He was extremely tired, and he needs this break more than anyone. And I feel like he'll come back next season fitter, stronger, better, and hopefully he's actually got a striker next to him who can score goals, because at the minute we've got Dwight Gayle, who's had a decent start since the decent goal game ratio since the restart. But for me, he could be playing for a transfer potentially. But yeah, I feel like Saint-Maximin, you could see how much it meant to us when he came off, and we had no attacking threat throughout the game when he came off. Oh, here we go again. Lads, I'm sorry, but everyone's getting 7s, but I'm generally thinking from their performance, a 7 out of 10. And finally, Dwight Gayle, who got the goal for Newcastle United, and he came off for Andy Carroll, and he wasn't bad. He got the goal. He couldn't really create much against a very strong Liverpool defence. Like I said before, is he playing for his transfer, or is he playing for Newcastle United? Yes, he scored 4 goals in 7 games, I think it is, but he missed the best one, the easiest one against City, which we could be in the FA Cup final. You never know. But yeah, Dwight Gayle, 7 out of 10. Moving on to the subs now, we'll do Joe Linton with his new purple pink hair. Like, what the hell's that? I wouldn't dare be leaving the house with pink hair. But when you're on 80 grand a week, you can do what you want. You might not be scoring goals for Newcastle United, but you can do what you want. He's one of the only players to play every game in the Premier League season. And guess how many Premier League goals? 2. 38 matches, 2 goals. He's played every Premier League game this season, and it's not been great. But let's just fingers crossed he can come back next season and get some goals. Hopefully he has a good break and really just finds where he needs to be in life, and hopefully we can start getting some goals for Newcastle United, because it's what we need. We need a goal scorer. With Bournemouth getting relegated, I will happily take any of the Josh King or Callum Wilson. I would happily take one of them, and Newcastle United have been linked with them, so fingers crossed we can get one of them, because obviously Joe Linton, I think he needs a bit more competition. Dwight Gayle, yes, he's keeping them out the team, which he's scoring goals, but I feel like it could be just sold off in the summer for 15-20 million, because it doesn't look like Mike Ashley's going to be putting much money into the club. So we've got a wheel and fucking deal like Newcastle United, which is a disgrace. We need a striker. It's simple. We need a striker to compete with Joe Linton, because I don't feel like Dwight Gale's playing for Newcastle United in my opinion. But Joe Linton, 5 out of 10. And then Newcastle United made a double substitution with Andy Carroll and Isaac Hayden. Great to see Hayden back. We've missed him. We've been playing Nabil Bentaleb, and it's just not been great from him. Isaac Hayden, we all know he's had a great season for Newcastle United. One of the underdogs, one of the players who doesn't really get talked about, but he always puts in 110%. Obviously, the game was really hard for him to come in and do something, but he was okay. I'm going to give Isaac Hayden a 6 out of 10. Now Andy Carroll versus his former team. Yeah, it was hard for him. It was really hard for him against a really strong defence. didn't get a goal, didn't get an assist. He didn't score for Newcastle United this season, and people look at that, but he's got five or six assists this season, and some of them have been in crucial games. The Sheffield United one, Miggy's goal, he got the one against Everton, he got the one for Gayle's goal against Aston Villa. He's definitely got, I'm sure he's got 5 or 6, but definitely four. I'll think of one when I'm speaking about him, but it was a good performance from him, and not a good performance, it was a really hard performance from him, I should have said. Andy Carroll, I'm going to give him, same as Hayden, 6 out of 10. Forgot to do Sean Longstaff, lads. He came on for the injured Bentaleb. I forgot to do Sean Longstaff. Sorry about that. He came on the 49th minute. I've just looked there. But yeah, Sean came on, and it was good to see him back as well. It was so hard because obviously Sean Longstaff had that great performance against Bournemouth. He scores and creates the first goal, and then he gets injured, and then he doesn't play, and then he comes back against a really good Liverpool team. It was hard for him to come back today and really do something, but I'm going to give Sean Longstaff a 6 out of 10. Kel Watts is the final one I'm going to do. The other substitution was... Oh no, he was the final substitution, Kel Watts. Sorry about that, but Kel Watts... So great for the lad. He should have started, in my opinion. He didn't really put a foot wrong, like really didn't. He was getting stuck in. He looked calm receiving the ball, which is always a good factor for a centre back. Which I knew you'd be a little bit like a Fabian Schär centre back, where he's clean and calm. He has, well, Fabian Schär hasn't been out this season, but that type of defender, you know what I mean, rather than just roughing and buffing everywhere, being like Jamal Lascelles, just not more like Skittles. But Kel Watts, great for the lad. Premier League debut against the best team in the world. But you can tell these kids, I made my debut against the best team in the world. Like that's a big moment for him, and congrats to him and his family. I'm not going to give him a rating because he wasn't on for long enough. He had a good performance, but he wasn't on for long enough, in my opinion, to give him a rating. So lads, that's it. I thought I'd talk a little bit longer because obviously it's the final player ratings of the season. It's a bit sad, but I've got videos planned. Obviously, we've got the main ones, like when the fixtures come out, the away kit, the third kit, them videos where news is going to come out for them. But I'm going to react to my Premier League prediction and my Championship prediction that I've done a little bit, but obviously you know a Premier League prediction when it comes out, so there will still be videos out. There won't be like the daily what I've been doing for the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks or whatever. It won't be daily like it was for the games now, but I'm still going to try to be making videos and still trying to get them out. So lads, it's been a long season, it's been disappointing, had some happy moments, but we just need to try and focus on for next season. We need an answer for this takeover. I'll be making a video on the takeover saga and all that, my opinion on it. So lads, I'll see you all for the next one. This is the final video of the 1920 season. Thank you all for the support over the season. We've gained some good subs, but it's a shame obviously what's happened to the end of the season with the whole pandemic and whatnot. But let's hope next season we can, fingers crossed, go to the games and actually go have a pint, watch Newcastle United in real life, and just have a piss up basically, lads. See you all in the next one, lads. The final video of the 1920 season. See you all for 2020-2021.